December 5th, 1948, in New Mexico, two different sightings by aircraft that were in the area at the time. The first was an Air Force C-47 transport plane, which was in the vicinity of Kirtland Air Force Base. Pilot and other crews saw this object that was greenish, luminescent, totally unidentifiable. And then shortly after that, there was a commercial flight that radioed into Kirtland Air Force Base as well. Essentially, do you have this on radar? Are you tracking anything like this? We're seeing something very, very unusual. That was the beginning of these so-called green fireballs. And in fact, throughout December of 1948, more than half of the remaining days in the year had sightings of these fireballs.
Remember, it happened in 1948 in Albuquerque and the region around Albuquerque, which of course was, ground zero for a lot of the atomic experiments. So people were concerned.
One of the first questions that people were asking is, are the Russians doing this? And a lot of scientists, the scientists themselves who were charged with studying it, were often witnesses of it, and a lot of military personnel were certainly witnesses to this phenomenon. But the reality is that there's no evidence that the Russians had anything to do with these so-called green fireballs, and no one was able to find out what these things were. There were theories that these were meteors of some sort. The top meteorologist in the country, was a man named Dr. Lincoln LaPaz, did a great amount of study of this on behalf of the United States military and government, of these so-called green fireballs. And the problem is, LaPaz never found any evidence that these were meteoric in any way. There's no impact sites that were ever found. There was no other evidence, anything to come to show that these were meteorites. So that was a problem.
Dr. Hynek knew Dr. LaPaz and respected him, and that was something that we discussed, but there was no obvious explanation, and it didn't continue after 1948. So the question is still open.